Hi everyone, I'm Duncan Gilman. I'm the Dean of Students for Splash Media U. I just want to welcome you to this live tour. What I want to start doing with our weekly tours, since we have this opportunity to talk with you directly live, and you can ask your questions and have them answered right here in the webinar, is give you a little update on how we're doing in the school. You may have seen some announcements over the last couple of weeks or so that we have an Instagram course coming out. We're very excited about that. It's coming out later this spring. For those of you who have gone through our website and seen the other courses we have to offer, we do currently have a Pinterest certificate and a Yelp mini course. In fact, one of the updates, the update that I want to mention today is I tweaked the website a little bit so that we can show off the full range of our certificates. So if you go take a look at our website, splashmediau.com, you'll see all of our certificates individually in addition to the Master Social Media Certification, which on its own still includes the 5 basics of Twitter, Facebook, LinkedIn, blogging, and YouTube. Separately available are the Pinterest certificate, the YouTube mini course, and coming soon in spring, the Instagram certificate. And of course, each of those 5 main platforms for Master Social Media Certification is also available as an individual certificate if you know someone who might be interested in just one or 2 of those individually without the full certification program. That about covers it for our updates. Again, since we have this time weekly, I want to go ahead and let you know how we're doing in the school. And I hope your April Fools is going well so far without too many pranks. One other thing I do want to mention before we dive into the program itself is we do a podcast. Actually, it's almost as regular as these weekly live updates, but we have a podcast called Social Currency, and I post the updates to it on the blog. But all you have to do is go to iTunes if you're an iTunes subscriber or listener, and do a search for Social Currency, and it'll come up in the podcast. It's so easy to digest, if you will, this podcast. It's 60 seconds. It's only a minute long. Every episode is only 60 seconds of that week, 2 weeks social media news. So it's a very quick way to stay up to date on what's happening in the social media marketing world in general. This little tidbit I gave you just now is a way to keep you updated on what's happening just with our school. All right, without further ado, I want to go ahead and get started. I want to be respectful of your time. I'm so glad you set aside 30 minutes to join us today. I'm going to switch over into the school itself. I've logged in as a sample student, and so you'll see the screen flicker for a second. It's going to look a little weird. What I want to mention before I go over there, though, while you can still see me on the screen, is this is a great time because we're live to ask your questions. Of course, you can always reach out to us anytime, but you can ask your questions here live in the tour. What you need to do in order to see the Q&A box is view this on Google+. It's very easy to do. If you're viewing this webinar on YouTube or on our website at splashmediau.com/orientation, which is basically YouTube too, because we've embedded the YouTube video there on that page. So if that's where you're seeing us, there should be a little overlay link that says something like click here to join this broadcast or join live, something like that. When you click that, it opens up Google+, the actual Google+ Hangout, which is how I'm broadcasting to you now. In Google+, there is a little I won't point because I'm in the wrong direction here. I'm in my mirror image of you. In Google+, there's a little icon that's sort of a tic-tac-toe icon. It's got 9 little white squares. When you click there, one of those options is Q&A. So if you click that and select Q&A, there should be a little box over on the right-hand side of your screen that's got the Q&A window, and that's where you can ask questions. I will go over that again once we get to the end and get to our Q&A section, because it may not be easy to follow the very first time. But right now, sit back and enjoy our live walkthrough of the school, and then I'll remind you at the end how to ask questions. Let me go ahead and do our screen share here. And again, this is going to make the screen look a little strange for a minute. And just while I open up our school here. Okay, so I've opened up, again, our sample student view. You can see my cleverly named student, first name new, last name student, very original. Right here at the top right-hand corner, I recommend you go here first when you log in. So prospective students, new students, when you first sign up and log in, go here first because this is a great chance to make sure that all of your settings are correct, your email address, password, everything is up to date there. And I would love for you to go ahead and put in a current up-to-date photo of yourself. Go ahead and help us to put a face with the name. So you can adjust your settings there. You can log out when you're ready to log out at the end of your session here. But back to the beginning of this top navigation here, we wanted to make this as straightforward as possible. Not a whole lot of clutter, not a whole lot of options up here at the top. All you see are the courses drop-down menu here, which is the same selection you can see just by scrolling down the page. All of the courses listed here start with Foundations, Twitter, Facebook, LinkedIn, blogging, YouTube, and strategy. I will point out that the view we're seeing here is the view of a student enrolled in Master Social Media Certification. So again, that's Twitter, Facebook, LinkedIn, blogging, and YouTube, sandwiched by the Foundations and Strategy courses to give you the overall marketing background and tools you need to create the strategy. If you're enrolled in an individual certificate, those views will be slightly different. You will see just the certificate course you're enrolled in, so just Twitter, for example, or just Facebook. Some of those do include Foundations, but I don't want to confuse you by going down that road. So again, this is the view you see in Master Social Media Certification, as opposed to an individual certificate where you just see the individual course. Messages is a great internal platform for us to be able to communicate to you. You see that I have 4 unread messages here. That's my little notification. I can click on messages. Here I can see from the desk of the dean, this is an update from me to you. I can easily mark this message as read by just clicking view this conversation. In fact, let me go ahead and mark one as read here. I'll mark this bottom one as read so that the next time it should say 3 here, the next time I log in. Go back to home. In fact, you can see that little notification goes away because I clicked into one. The Resources tab is a great library, one-stop shop for all of the resources that we provide in the individual classes. For example, we talk a lot about developing great content for your followers and your customers on social media. Well, we have a class that talks about creating a content plan. And this content plan template is located, go ahead and so I know sometimes it's hard for you to see where I am on the screen because everything's a little bit smaller on your screen possibly. So hopefully it helps that I highlighted that. In the content plan template class and assignment, we reference this worksheet. Well, we also reference the worksheet in the resource library. You can see all of the resources here in one place. It's an easy spot for you to get to find that resource that you may have forgotten where that class was, but all of the resources are also located here. These are worksheets and templates, all the things that we used in our agency, in our marketing agency, brought over into the school. These are real documents that you can use with clients, for your business, all the resources at your disposal. The support tab is a great place for you to see frequently asked questions. Part of the certification and certificate process is homework assignments. And one thing we ask you to do is upload assignments and take screenshots of the things that you see on your computer. And if you don't know how to do that, our FAQs are a great way to find out how to do that. So if you have a question, come here first. It's probably answered in the frequently asked questions. If you don't see your question answered, of course, we want you to open a support ticket, email us. Those do basically the same thing, but either method is fine. Call us. Give us a call between regular business hours. We love walking through an issue you're having with your own business. If you need just a quick second set of eyes or some brainstorming help, or if you're having any issues with the program itself, of course, please reach out. We want to make sure that your user experience, your student experience, is as smooth as possible. So let us know how we can make your experience even better. I'm going to go back to the home page. I want to go ahead and dive right into a course. And you may have noticed I talk quickly. I go fast because I want to be respectful of your time and cover as much ground as possible, just give you the overview. These tours are all available on our YouTube channel. And this tour, in fact, I'll show you. Let me just click on Foundations for a second. This tour is the same tour that's here in Splash Media U Orientation. That's the same. We have one of our archive versions of this is embedded into this class. So you can review any of our tours on the YouTube channel, youtube.com/splashmediau, or again, you're going to see this orientation again in your Foundations course. But let me go back into the Twitter course, because there's a good sample class I like to show, and I'll explain why. Here in the Twitter course, you'll see, and just like all the other courses, you've got an overview up here at the top, what you're going to learn in the Twitter course, and then we go right into classes, starting with basics. And basics, similar to basics in the other courses, cover the initial things you need to get started on the platform. So in Twitter's case, this would be things like setting up your Twitter account. What is a tweet? What is a retweet? How to follow, how to mention people, how to reply. Those are the basic things you need to know in order to feel comfortable on the platform, just to get started. If you're already on Twitter or on Facebook or on LinkedIn, these will just be a quick review and you will breeze right through it, and that's wonderful. One thing to note as you go through the different courses, we have these all laid out the same way in the same 5 sections. So after you've gone through basics, you'll see the same 5 sections in all of our courses: listening, building community, broadcasting to that community, developing great original content for those followers in that community, and then converting that community into customers, converting your followers into actual consumers of your products and services. These same 5 elements, listening, building community, broadcasting, content, and convert, are the elements that we apply to all of our social media platforms that we cover. These together make up what we call the tactical wheel. In fact, it's something we talk about on our blog quite often. We even have a separate seminar devoted just to the tactical wheel. The reason is because these are the tactics that will help you be successful in all social media platforms, even ones that we don't cover, like Foursquare, Google+, Snapchat. We don't currently have courses on those platforms, but if you apply these same 5 basic principles, that will help you succeed on those other platforms as well, because these same 5 basic principles are what we found is the best approach to a social media platform, especially when you're new to that platform. As I've scrolled down, you may have seen all these links. These are all individual classes. Getting back to our class overview here. So each of these links is on average, 3 or 4 minute class. A couple of our classes go a little bit longer, but we wanted to break these up into bite-sized chunks so you can view these on the go, a couple at a time. Each of these links is a class. You'll notice that some of these are blue and some of them are gray. The blue ones are ones that you have not seen, and when you view the class, the link turns gray so you can know how far within a section you've gone. I'll go ahead and click on this one. This is one I like to demonstrate a lot: how to use Twitter lists. You'll notice that once I open up a class, the remainder of the section, in this case basics, appears as my navigation on the left-hand side. So I don't have to click back into the main Twitter class, or main Twitter course, pardon me, in order to see the rest of the basics section. I can just go to the next item down here on the list. And then when I'm done with basics, then I can return to the full Twitter course overview and go to the next section, which happens to be listening. So you'll see right away, before I even click on play on this video, on this class, I'll get a little screenshot of what I'm going to get out of this class. So I see my objectives right up front. In this class, I'm going to learn what a Twitter list is, how to create one, and then some common uses of lists. Let me go ahead and click play. I'll turn the volume down because I don't need to hear it. I think I'm the instructor on this one, so you'll see my face in a minute here. And right up front, I get those objectives again, what they are, some common uses, and there's me, and I start teaching the class. We're not going to watch the whole thing. I'll just talk over it here. You'll see that I've got a computer in front of me, my laptop there, that I'm demonstrating with. I'm demonstrating as I go along. So as I explain how to create and use a Twitter list, I am actually doing that on my laptop there, and we'll take this laptop view full screen so you can see it. It does appear on the screen behind me here, but we'll take it to full screen in this embedded view so you can get a little better view here. And in fact, let me fast forward. You'll notice that once this is finished loading with this gray bar here, then I can fast forward to a certain spot in the video. So let me see if I can find, there we go. Let me just pause it there. So what I did is I just quickly jumped to a spot where we've taken my view on the laptop full screen here. If this is not big enough for you, because this is still kind of small, even though it's taking up the full video window here, you can also use the full screen option here in the embedded video. So if I click full screen here, I can then take this, I don't want to mess up the desktop view that you're seeing, but I can then take this full screen on my computer screen, on my student computer screen that I'm watching on, and see a much closer view there. I can do that for the whole video, but I think that's pretty intuitive. Maybe I'm a little redundant here, but I just want to make sure that you are aware of the full screen option, because if you're watching a class on your phone or on your tablet, especially, it's very helpful to be able to blow that up full size. But it's also very helpful on your laptop and or your desktop computer too, just so you can see a little bit more clearly what it is that we're demonstrating. So as I mentioned before, you can come over here. Once you're done with a particular class, you can just move over to the left navigation here and go to the next item. You'll see in this case, the next item happens to be an assignment. All of our assignments are designated with these little hand and paper icons. That's how you know when an assignment is coming up. And we place these strategically in spots after the classes that they apply to. So you'll see this class that we're watching is how to use Twitter lists. Well, the assignment that follows it is create a Twitter list. So we want to make sure that you're fully equipped on the Twitter list concept before you submit that assignment. So we've watched the Twitter list class, we're ready to take the Twitter list assignment. Go ahead and click on the assignment here. Another reason that I like to demonstrate these two things back to back as my example is because this particular assignment has both types of submissions that we use in our homework assignments throughout the program. One type is a simple text entry, and one type is an upload of a file. And to demonstrate those, I'm going to go ahead and click Edit My Submission so I can show you the different submission types. So here I am in the edit screen, and in part one of the assignment, it's asking me to explain how, again, this is an assignment about a Twitter list. So in part one, I'm going to explain how I found the members in the list. So all I have to do is, in my text box here, just start, I can spell, typing in my first answer. You saw I'm just typing in live so you can see me demonstrating it. And then in part two, I'm going to upload a screenshot showing the list. In some cases, that upload will be a word processing document. It'll be a spreadsheet. In this case, it's a screenshot. And again, if you remember, I showed you in the support tab up here at the top, it shows you how to take a screenshot if you've never done that before. It's pretty easy once you know how to do it. And then all you have to do is just drag and drop that file right into this rectangular area here. If you're not able to drag and drop, you can always just click Add and browse for it on your computer. In either case, whether you drag and drop or click the Add and browse, I recommend that you create a folder somewhere on your computer, and I'll show you how to do that. Create a folder somewhere on your computer called Splash Media U Assignments, for example. And in that folder is where you can store, I don't have any stored in here right now, but I can store all of my uploaded assignments, or all of my screenshots, all of my documents. That way, when I'm ready with the assignment, I can just open this window, open this folder, and drag and drop that file right into the screen here, and easily upload it. Makes even more sense if you use the Add link here, because then I can again just browse for that folder where I'm storing all of my assignments and click the right one from there. So I recommend have all of your assignments in one place, easy to find. Then you also have a portfolio saved up of everything you've done that you can put together. You can assemble as a portfolio of your marketing skills that you can show off to clients and use in your business. When you're done, just click Save Changes. And you have another opportunity. Save Changes does not submit the assignment. You can always come back and edit it again, which is what I've done here. And then when you're finally ready to submit the assignment to the instructor, you just click Submit Assignment. That covers classes and assignments. One thing I want to mention about grading while we're talking about assignments is these are manually graded by instructors. So you'll actually receive feedback and a grade from the instructor on each individual assignment. So for that reason, we have about a 1 to 2 day turnaround on assignments. So you won't get it graded right away because we grade each one manually, but within a 1 to 2 day business day turnaround time is when you'll receive a grade on those assignments. We generally give 1 of 3 grades, because if you for the most part, our homework assignments are fairly objective. If you have mastered the concept, that's a 100. There's no reason to give it anything less than 100 if you've grasped the concept. If you have gotten the basic idea, but maybe you need to tweak 1 or 2 things when you actually put it into practice for your business, we'll give it an 80. An 80 or above is passing. So 100 or an 80, those are both passing grades. An 80, you can move on, but there may be something to watch out for the next time. The third grade that we usually give is a 50. It's a failing grade. And the reason we just give a 50 is because if there's something major that needs to be fixed on the assignment, then we might as well just give you 1 grade. It doesn't really make any sense to give it a 69 or a 43 or whatever. We might as well just give you 1 grade, a failing grade, so that you know to go back into the system and redo that assignment. And we will give you that opportunity. We don't want anybody to fail anything. So we will always give you an opportunity to resubmit an assignment for a passing grade. And the second time you submit the assignment, so let's say you submit an assignment, there's something that needs to be fixed, we'll give it a 50. You'll get feedback, don't worry. You'll always know from your instructor what you need to fix on that particular assignment. And I apologize, as I explain this, you're just looking at the same screen here, but I'm just want to make sure you understand how we grade. If you get a 50, we'll explain why you got the 50 and how to fix it when you resubmit it. And then the second time you submit it, we'll give you a passing score. So you've grasped the concept, and then we'll give you a passing score of 80. Now, exams work a little bit differently. I'll go back to Twitter here, and I'll show you the Twitter exam down here at the bottom. Each course has its own individual course exam down at the bottom of the course. Go ahead and click into Twitter exam here. The grading is the same on assignments in terms of the passing or failing. So passing on an exam is also 80 or above. But you can have any wide range of grades, because the grades are automatic. The exams are automatically graded by the system. So these are very objective. These are multiple choice and true false. So once you submit your answers for the exam, our school automatically grades it and gives you feedback on what you got right and what you got wrong. And same thing with assignments though here. If you do fail an exam, we want you to master these concepts, so you'll get an opportunity to retake the exam. For exams, we build in a 24-hour window so you can go back and review the classes that may need a second look before you take the exam again. The course exams are 25 questions, multiple choice, true, false. The final exam, which you'll have access to again if you're enrolled in the Master Social Media Certification, which includes all of those primary courses. The final exam is a cumulative comprehensive exam that's 75 questions, bringing in material from all the other exams you've taken. So as long as you've passed the other exams, you should be fine on the final exam. The final exam link, as I just clicked on, you'll notice, you'll see it in the course drop-down menu. The final exam link just actually takes you to this process for us to give the final exam to you, to make it available to you. And the way you do that is by emailing us support@splashmedia.com, our regular support address. That tells us that you're ready to take it. And the way you can check to see if you're ready is, you may have seen in each individual course, we have a progress bar. For example, here's the one in Foundations. See, in the foundations course, in my sample student here, I have completed 4 out of 7. You can see the progress bar is a little more than halfway through. And if I click on that 4 of 7 number, I can see exactly which of these assignments I've completed, not completed, failed. I need to go back and do this one again because I failed it. Completed this one, not completed, not completed. So you can see the status and completion date of each individual item in the course, so you'll know that you're ready to take the final once everything in every course says completed. One more thing you'll need to know for our Master Social Media Certification students that we haven't covered yet, our last thing, the seminars. And again, these are required for Master Social Media Certification students. The seminars are 4 longer form lectures that go into detail in these core subjects like campaign management, social media return on investment. We go a little bit deeper into tactical wheel, as I mentioned just very quickly at the beginning, and then search engine optimization. Unlike our classes, which are an average of 3 or 4 minutes long, these lectures are hour-long lectures that really go into great detail and cover some great material, really get into detail about the important elements of managing campaigns and social media ROI by the numbers, really getting into the budgets and numbers of social media strategy, which is just great information here for you. And the way that you show that you have watched each seminar is we give a little quiz that corresponds to each individual seminar. These are shorter than our normal exams. These are just 10 questions, multiple choice, true, false, same format, but all it is showing that you've watched the seminar. If you watch the seminar, you'll have no problem taking each corresponding quiz that accompanies it. That is it. That is our whirlwind tour. I know I go fast, but I want to make sure I've covered everything just quickly in an overview format here so that you have an idea of what you're getting into when you first log in. Go ahead and minimize this again, switch back over to my screen where you can see me. There we go. And again, this is a great opportunity if you have a question that you want answered here live to have it answered. What you can do, and I'll explain this again, so you can go, if you're watching on YouTube or via YouTube on our website, splashmediau.com/orientation, there's a little overlay link on that window. And you can click, it says something like, join this broadcast live. So click there, that opens up Google+. So I'll wait a second for you to do that. Then once you're on Google+, there's a little icon at the top, looks sort of like a tic-tac-toe. It's a little 9 white square icon. If you click there, there should be an option for Q&A. And what that does is open up a little Q&A window on the side of your screen, and that's where you can have your questions answered. So I'm just going to stay online for a couple of minutes, probably just a few seconds, and see if anybody has any questions. And if not, you're always welcome to give us a call during business hours. Send us an email, send us a support ticket if you have any questions at all. Happy to answer those because, again, I want to make sure this is the best possible student experience for you. Don't see any questions coming through. I think that'll do it for today. I hope you have a great rest of your week. And again, reach out to us if you need anything at all. Thanks so much for joining us today.